Hey guys.
Hey.
I'm Alicia.
And I'm Meredith.
And this is It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast. I almost again said I'm Meredith. I don't know why.
If you do that, it's just going to be, hey, I'm Meredith. And I'm Meredith.
Okay, it's the season reunion, season 1 reunion. We're almost done. Let's do some housekeeping super quick. We are on the Geek Nerdery Podcast Network, lots of other podcasts. Check them out. It is the Challenged podcast on the Geek Nerdery Podcast Network. It's their off season, just like it's our off season. So you should subscribe to them and download their episodes because you should do the same for ours too. It really helps us out. We super appreciate it. We want to keep doing this just
and give them a
fun.
listen. You might remember all the funny things about season 1 that we have.
We have a lot of thoughts.
Like, oh my God, everything happened way quicker than I thought.
I actually got a compliment this morning from my friend Lauren. I'm giving her another shout out. She texted me this morning and she's like, listening to your podcast on the way to my commute. I absolutely love it. And she said she's going to leave us a review. It's not up yet because she just submitted it this morning. But thanks, Lauren.
Preemptively thanking you.
Yep, I know.
So everybody else, that's your cue to leave us a review.
I know, a review, subscribe, rate us. Nothing new. I just need to check really quick, but it looks like I didn't have it pulled up, but it's fine.
Thanks. That's fine.
Join our Facebook group. We'll be posting any Vanderpump news we find in there. We'll ask you guys for some thoughts. It's the same name as the podcast, so if you're listening to this, you can easily find it.
Just copy paste.
Follow our Instagram at Vanderpasta and join our Patreon.
Yeah.
So we have lots of stuff for you on our Patreon. It's very cheap. We're not asking for a lot. But here's the thing. If you listen to season 1, episode 1, I would say, we don't have a ton on our Patreon yet. But now it's bumping. We have pre-shows and post-shows. Oof. We have early access episodes. So this episode probably won't come out for another 4-ish weeks from when we're recording it.
You always do this backwards.
I don't care. What
you could have had this 4 weeks ago.
I think that's what I said, but differently.
No, you said.
Did I not?
You said this won't come out for another 4 weeks.
From when we're recording it.
Yes.
Oh wait,
you have to say it to the people listening now.
Okay, yeah, backwards. Thanks, Meredith. She's way smarter than me.
I'm great at future talk.
So here's what you can get for the low price of $1 a month. You can get all access to the shows that we record. So you could have had this 4 weeks ago. And you'll have access.
But don't fret. If you join now, you can have season 2.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Season 2's out already on our Patreon when you're listening to this. Better catch up. But you'll also get access to all of our pre-shows. We do one before every episode. Also, we'll be doing Secrets Revealed for season 1. And it'll only be on Patreon.
In our post-show, it'll be on Patreon.
Yes.
But it will be accessible to everybody.
It's actually called Reunion Secrets because I watched it today, just in case you're wondering. Okay, for the low price of $2 a month, you will get everything we just listed. And then on top of that, you'll get access to all of our post shows where we will discuss Vanderpump spoilers that we might have because we obviously know what's happening, but we don't want to spoil anything for any new listeners.
Yes.
So
join us. Alicia gives me a book report every week. That's great. I actually learned so much.
Yeah, right? It was kind of fun. I'm just very curious.
I love it.
If you know anything about me, I love background characters. I love people that are important. That'd be me if I was on the show. Peter's important to me. So I just want to know, where are they? What are they doing? Have they made it?
Even not a background character. One little thing they mention, and it's where did that go?
Oh, yeah. What happened to that?
What happened to the divine addiction? We know.
We know. But yeah, go join for that as well. And then for $5 a month. Oh, also wait, $2 a month will say your name. So big shout out.
Big shout out to Jackie.
Jackie. She's our favorite. She has been the patron of season 1.
That's true.
We love her. Thanks, Jackie.
Bookend to bookend. She's been here for us.
And here's the other thing. Jackie's $5 a month. So she's
got way more going.
She's even better. So for $5 a month, you'll be able to ask us any questions because I post in the Patreon and ask for any thoughts, questions. Nothing's off limits if it's about season 1, if it's about season 8, if it's about Meredith and I, if it's about our nature or something. I don't know. We don't care. Well, here's the first thing I thought of. But we'll answer your questions. You can give us comments. We love to know what you guys think too. And our $5 a month listeners will also be eligible to be our patron of the episode. But right now, it's just Jackie. So it's still Jackie. I hope she listens to these and just loves it.
Jackie.
Yeah, so join. It's patreon.com/Vanderpasta.
Yeah.
Hip, hip, hooray.
Hip, hip, hooray.
Are you mixing it up?
Oh, am I? I just finished my one. So let me see if I can get a good little...
Ooh.
Was that good? Did that sound good?
Was nice.
That kind of hurt. I tried a little too hard.
Great sound quality. So
I like... It's fine. I'm fine. Yes, I'm mixing it up.
I have a beer. Should we cheers the microphone or would that be weird?
Did you hear that? I clinked my two together.
It didn't sound like that, but it worked.
Yes. I have my lovely White Claw. My work day was the worst, so gotta have a drink to celebrate with Alicia the end of season 1.
I have an Angry Orchard, and I'm only drinking because it's the end of season 1, because I drank a lot this weekend, and I think I might be dying.
Yep. I did the thing where you wake up and you're like, I'm never drinking again.
That's me all the time. All right. So are you ready to get into the reunion?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So nothing happened previously because we're going to go through everything that happened previously. So the reunion.
Good point. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, we hit everything. It's at Sir. We have Lisa, Jax in a chunky sweater.
Oh yeah, Stassi. I loved it. Oh
my god!
I actually looked at it and I was like,
sweater.
I think I own one like this. I almost wore it, but it's August, so I was like, I can't do it.
No, it gave me really big like Abercrombie back in the day vibes, because you like buy those sweaters in the mall and like. That's immediately the vibe I got.
Now it's like the girl wearing leggings and just a t-shirt vibe, like casual, but like wears a sweater to not look like little put together.
This was Abercrombie when I was in junior high vibe. So that's like what, 2007? That's the vibe I was getting.
Love it.
Also joining us is Stassi, Sheena, Kristen, Tom Sandoval, and Katie. Hooray.
Yes.
So Lisa gets asked, most bosses don't see what goes on in the workplace. What's that experience like for you?
That must actually be hard. I was thinking about that.
It's really difficult.
And she answers that the hardest thing is like seeing obviously what happens when she's not there. But she specifically calls out the time that Stassi was having her meltdown and missed work, which is the frank morning telling her.
It's when she drank the Cristal.
Yes, yeah. Which I was like, oh, I never really thought about that. But Lisa has to know in some way because the film crew's there. There's a schedule for filming.
There has to be something. Because I feel like the film crew would have
maybe this was a little
Stassi to
spontaneous.
Sir, but also, this was very choppy. So it makes me feel like the film crew was called after. And they
was with somebody else.
Yeah.
Like Kristen and Katie.
With Kristen and Katie, because that's when we got the film crew. Okay. Stassi, we acknowledge that she's a Swedish princess. So she ascends from Swedish royalty.
Stassi, how many people have to die before you take the throne? I loved that comment. I was like, this is, I think, the self-confidence, not the bitchiness, but the self-confidence every woman needs to start having in themselves. Is like,
yeah, 100%.
I'm a princess, not in like a bad way, in a great way. Like, I'm fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, she can make fun of it too, which is like,
cute,
yeah, you know?
That's the beauty of Stassi's dramatics, is that she can laugh at it too. Mm-hmm. She knows she's being dramatic.
Andy asked Lisa, does Stassi reek of royalty? And she says, Stassi reeks of something, not royalty. But everyone's so funny at the reunion.
This one's kind of awkward because I feel like they're not used to being on camera still.
This is them trying to get to the, like, you know, when you first talk to someone on the phone and you have to, like, kind of get into, like,
ease into it,
your flow. This was it. But we get, Andy says that Stassi might reek of confidence, which is what you were talking about.
Yeah.
And we have the quotes, I'm 23 and I'm a fucking amazing catch. And I'm the best thing that ever happened to you. Fuck, I'm amazing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like whenever you're young and like in college or like straight out of college, you have so much confidence and then it slowly fades away.
The world slowly dwindles you down.
Yeah, that sometimes we all need a little reminder that we're fucking awesome and we're the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Oh, I'm all right.
I think I'm pretty fucking awesome.
Okay, so everyone's still
I think this White Claw is telling me that now.
Yeah, that White Claw is giving you all the confidence in the world. Text your ex, Meredith. Just do
God,
it.
No.
Okay, everyone's still working at SIR. Even Jax, even though he quit like 5 minutes ago, he came crawling back.
Well, he says like, raise your hand, and they all raise their hand.
And Andy's like, you quit. And he's like, I came crawling back right after.
Which kind of annoys me.
Me too. It annoys me that Lisa took him back.
But she says, you know, the drama was his personal life, and his personal life was a mess, but he is a good employee, which I can kind of understand. Like, remember when he was talking to those women, and Laura Lee was like, who are you talking to? He has a way with clients.
It was a man and a woman. They were a couple, clearly.
Who?
It was a man and a woman when Laura. Oh no, the Brazilian.
No, when she was like flirting with the
Brazilian.
Laura Lee, yeah. Like, he has a way with clients. Okay. Like, he's good behind a bar. Je ne
sais quoi, if you will.
Yeah. I understand why she took him back. I just wish for his own. For himself, he would have just stayed away for a hot
Let's be honest. From a money standpoint, even if we're not talking about SIR. We're talking about this TV show that films at SIR. Jax was a shitty human being all of season 1, but at the end dropped the biggest bomb in TV history up until this moment.
True.
Or up until that moment. So yeah, obviously, I'm sure ratings spiked and they were like, oh my God, Jax cheated.
Yeah.
It's a lie. And so I'm sure she's like, you can only come back to SIR if you continue doing my show.
Oh, I think he was like, can I please come back so I can continue doing the show? I think it was a mutual agreement of like, this is successful.
Yeah. So we find out that some people drove down from San Diego just to harass Stassi.
This is mean. This is horrible because she actually works there. Like, she actually had to do her job while people were harassing her.
Also,
sad.
How wasteful. Like, honestly, you're going to drive hours to eat at an expensive restaurant just so you can harass this girl? That seems excessive.
Yeah. This is one up from people hiding behind a screen on Instagram to, like, make poor comments about people. I'm like,
you're going to go to their work?
What's the benefit here? What do you get out of this? And Stassi mentions this later, that Jax is the one who fucked up this whole season, and she looks like the villain.
I agree.
And that just proves that people are coming to Sir not to scream at Jax and somehow think like also Stassi's a bitch. It's they come to yell at her, sit in her area and yell at her.
Okay, if hypothetically, well, not hypothetically, but right now it's hypothetical because the world's in turmoil. When/if we ever get to go to LA finally and do our trip to all of the restaurants.
Yeah.
If Jax served you a drink, would you be like, oh my God,
I feel like I want to throw it at him.
Yeah, right? Or would you just be like, okay.
No, I would just sit there. I feel like I'd sit there and pretend all is cool.
I feel like I'd be like, hey man, fan of the show. Not really a fan of yours, but like, thanks for being on.
I would not mind chatting him up about it in a not weird way, but I wouldn't fangirl. I hate people who fangirl.
I wouldn't fangirl.
I hate things people fangirl about too. And then I also am not, I'm so good at being mean to people I know. I'm not good at being mean to people I don't know. I have so much sympathy in the world for people I don't actually know.
I feel like I would just pull up one of those like, fan of the show.
Oh, we would whip out this podcast. I would literally bring mics with me and be like, Jax, stick it in his face.
Any thoughts?
Hello.
Never forget when a coworker met some Vanderpump Rules cast. We won't say
Best
who.
Story ever.
Well, we'll tell the story when we get later on into the. Maybe we'll tell it on our Patreon.
I was about to say, I think that's a good after show story.
Well, let's move on then in the reunion to Sheena and Brandy. So we talked about how Sheena felt the need to talk to Brandy because their paths were obviously going to cross, right?
Yes.
Sheena works at Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant. Brandy comes to the restaurant all the time because she's friends with Lisa. And Sheena slept with Brandy's husband. Not in like a bad way.
Not even just slept with him. Full on had a 2-year affair with him.
Yes. And now he's married to Leanne Rimes, so neither of them got him.
Yes.
But so Sheena felt this need to talk to Brandy. People thought that Sheena didn't think she did anything wrong. And
yeah, the way okay, so we never got the full conversation on Vanderpump, which I'm kind of annoyed they fully addressed it here and never showed it. They showed us a clip during the reunion, but like I said earlier in the season, this was actually on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So if you don't know what their conversation was, I highly recommend just going to look up the clip. But yeah, she was kind of throwing it in her face.
Well, yeah, she told Brandy that her husband had bought her diamonds, like bought Sheena diamonds, and presents.
And Sheena said like the whole reason was she wasn't trying to throw things in Brandy's face. She wanted to make sure like Brandy understood it wasn't just like a fling. Mm-hmm. She also said she didn't know at the beginning, like she went through the whole saga of it, but when she was like, what came off as bragging is she wanted Brandy to know that wasn't just a fling for her. She wasn't just in her mind a side piece. It was like a real relationship.
Yeah, which I can kind of see where Sheena's coming from, but I do think it was handled like poorly. I understand why
other people you say those things like to like Stassi. Like I wasn't just a flimsy, like some girl, like we had a relationship and at that point I was in love with him. Like he bought me diamonds and we did this. But to the woman whose husband you slept with and broke up their marriage, their family, I don't think you should want to prove it was a real relationship.
Yeah, no. I don't know.
Just let it be.
I've never been...
Like, take the L on this one. You're not with him anymore is the reason. Like,
I guess
if you were still with him, I get it. Which is kind of even worse.
Situation. No. So I don't know what's like the best course of action. But like, bless you, Sheena. Good luck with this. Lisa.
Bless you, Sheena. Good luck with this.
It's obviously over. She's dating.
Bless her heart.
Lisa thinks it's good that Sheena and Brandy talked because they can finally like cross paths. But no matter what, Sheena will always be the mistress rather than the waitress, which I agree.
Great line.
I think Lisa said it.
No,
like,
she did. No, I'm saying
don't quote
Lisa's line. No,
Thank you.
Lisa's line was fabulous because that's true. I think that probably put it into perspective for Sheena a lot more.
So then Stassi's asked, like, because Stassi obviously had a huge problem with Sheena solely because she hooked up with someone's husband. And even though Sheena claims, like, which I don't think she did, Sheena says she didn't know, and, you know, it was this big thing, and Stassi's not really involved. Andy does say, like, why were you so upset by this? And Stassi says that she took cheating super personally because she was threatened by Sheena, and she didn't want Sheena around Jax.
Which, hey, girl can read a room.
Well, Sheena was, you know, put sunscreen on him, so that was a big thing. Did you like Lisa's comment? She put sunscreen on him, not a condom.
I loved that. But also, I love Sheena admitting, oh, of course I was doing it to rile her up.
I love that. Like, yeah, but yeah, at the time they were enemies, 100%.
Oh, I would have done the same. I would have done a worse job of, like, putting sunscreen on him. Like, there would have been a massage. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. You would have been, like, lie down. Let me really get
like,
it.
Laughing. Oh, yeah. I feel like I would have gone full in. And been like, it's just sunscreen.
I love that Sheena thought it was funny, too. Because this girl bullied her. Now she's like, her relationship's in turmoil. All because I put sunscreen.
They're friends now, so they can talk honestly about it now, which is way better for this reunion.
Yeah. And then Andy's even like, Kristen, where were you involved in all this? And Lisa's like, wherever there's drama, there's Kristen.
Kristen follows.
Kristen Doty. So now... this whole season has been about one couple, and we're going to get into that couple now. There was a lot of fighting in this relationship. There was a lot. Andy, not awkwardly, but she asks Stassi and Jax if they ever got physical. And then it becomes kind of awkward.
Well, they, like, stare at each other. They look around at their friend group. Nobody's really answering, but they're all giving the, like,
not like that physical. I love that it got physical in Chicago. Boom. My hood, my city. Well, actually, that's a charity. Let me not get into that. But,
yes, Stassi hit Jax in Chicago. She actually busted his nose, blood everywhere.
All over his Michael Kors sweater.
The sweater had to be mentioned. I love it. His possessions mean so much to him.
Fucking sweater.
But they both do agree he deserved it.
Yeah.
And for anyone who has already seen this season, Stassi does mention this on a podcast. I forget which one, but there's a podcast out there where Stassi tells this story. And I
what happened? Do you remember?
Stassi, or they were in Chicago visiting, or like just there for the weekend, and they were pretty far away from their hotel, and Stassi had found out Jax cheated on her. And
oh my God, like again, or is like a
no. This was when they first started dating, like really early on before the show. So she basically punched him in the face, broke his nose, blood everywhere. They're like,
oh my God.
He left her. Like,
what?
Distance-wise, like, he just, like, walked away, and she was, like, alone. She was, like, so mad. I forget all the rest of the details.
I'd be mad.
Like, that's the legit,
look, like, where I live, Chicago's pretty safe, but no one better be leaving.
I think they were by the O'Hare Airport. It was, like, somewhere where you're like, where the fuck are you? Yeah.
Absolutely not. I hate that.
I'm trying to find the podcast.
Jax had said on the show that Stassi got him the job at SIR to keep an eye on him. Now Jax denies that, and Stassi also denies that and says that he needed to help her with the bills. Because Jax literally moved in 3 days after they dated.
I love this story because I believe Stassi's virgin. Stassi
100%.
had the apartment, which I thought she went to school in New Orleans, but whatever. She was in college, I guess in LA, and worked at SUR, paid for half of the apartment. Her dad paid for the other half. But still, he's not contributing. Just because her dad pays for half
doesn't mean that you're off the hook. If anything,
you pay for a fourth.
He should, Stassi, half of Stassi's. He should have been paying. But he responds with, I bought the groceries, so.
I'm telling you, the cost of living in LA does not compare to some grocery runs.
Also, who do you think's eating most of those groceries anyway?
Yeah.
You think Stassi's scarfing down 5 meals a day? I don't think so.
Here's the thing. You better pay for half the rent and most of the groceries because, she's not physically paying. She's not physically paying for the rent her dad's paying, but that's an asset she's bringing into the relationship.
Yeah, without Stassi, there's no Stassi's dad to pay the rent.
Yeah.
That's
an asset.
I would love to see the groceries he came home with. Like, it's just all fucking protein, and she's like, what the fuck?
I could not imagine.
Fruit? Right? Yeah. And he's just like, I'm buying the groceries. And she's like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh, God. Guys buying groceries is hilarious. My dad always loves to show off the groceries every time he buys them as if it's like a fashion show. I'm like, I don't care what you bought.
My dad's actually super into groceries. Like, when he makes a salad, he buys like 7 types of lettuce. And he's like, you only need a little bit of arugula because it brings out, the taste. And he like makes this full-on salad, and I'm just sitting there just like, I literally would have thrown romaine into a bowl and been like,
with like some tomatoes and
here's some dressing.
Yeah.
Crouton.
Done. The best thing about a Caesar, you just need lettuce, Caesar dressing, and maybe croutons.
Okay, so Kristen says that she thinks Jax likes to be controlled, which Jax confirms. He likes being told what to do and where to be, and he likes when his other half wears the pants. It's because boys are stupid sometimes, and they don't know what to do. You need someone to be like, do you know where my dad would be without my mom? He'd be fucking
I don't
lost.
Feel like we full on saw this, though. Like, maybe he likes to be bossed around a little bit, but control, I think he said he likes when the woman wears the pants, but I don't think so.
I think sometimes. I think if it's not in front of his dudes and it doesn't like emasculate him, quote unquote. Like,
I'm sure maybe like at home, like he wants like her to like make plans and do stuff with their friend group, but if he wants to do something on his own, like don't talk to me.
Like if they're out in front of his friends and Stassi's like, hey Jax, like I'm going home, let's go. Jax would be like, who's this lady to tell me what to do?
Who's this lady?
I was going to say woman, but I don't find that. As a feminist, don't call ladies women or woman.
Oh, God. I
think it depends.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Yeah, I think if they're at home, yes. If they're out and about, hell no, he does not want to be controlled.
This man does what he wants when he wants.
I think he wants to be taken care of. I don't think he wants to be
controlled. Yes, 100%. So let's talk about the first breakup at Peter's birthday party. 7 shots later.
This is my quarantine like spirit animal. I feel like this is everyone.
Except you're not taking 7 shots from like those shots were for everybody.
I know. I'm just saying. I feel like people go out because he like walks in and he just rips 7 shots. I feel like that's what happens when everybody sees other people. They're like, let me just get shit faced as soon as possible.
So Jax and Peter were at Peter's birthday. Jax and Stassi are already fighting. And Jax likes to walk into a party and dominate immediately. Like he's the center of attention.
So I'm saying he doesn't like to be controlled. He wants to like control it.
He wants to be cared for. Like when he brings all that protein home, he wants Stassi to cook it.
Stop. The way you started saying that was like so sweet when he brings that protein home.
Ew. Okay.
No, I literally meant like chicken. I did not mean anything else.
Like the grilled chicken.
But like the sound was like when a guy's like trying to be super nice, like
protein.
The like tone. Ugh, I hate when people talk protein.
Okay. Jax. It's this cider. I'm telling you, I'm drunk already. Jax realizes Stassi really meant the breakup at Peter's party when the next day Frank picked up Stassi to go to the beach.
This was crazy.
Boom. Like, the next day she was, and she's still sharing an apartment with her ex.
Yes, I was thinking about that. Like, where did they sleep? What happened that night? Da-da-da. But this is where I also want reality TV to fully go into people's lives and take on everything. That I want cameras in these people's houses to see this moment. Could you imagine if this was you're struggling so bad? Could you imagine if this was Big Brother style or Love Island style, where there are just cameras in these people's houses?
Where we had to see the awkwardness of Stassi leaving to go hang out with Frank while living with Jax. Woo!
Oh my Lord.
We're okay. The beer's safe.
Yeah, I would love that. This is a scene we missed.
I would have felt so awkward though. Like, I wouldn't have known what to like. I don't know.
Sitting alone watching TV and awkwardly laughing at things because I need to express how awkward they are, but nobody else is around.
I just did that recently to a show, and I can't remember what.
And I look around, and I'm like,
yeah, I was like,
so weird, right?
Point to the lamp. You're like, did you see that? It was
craziness on this TV.
It was. Do you remember that MTV show Awkward? It was like an actual scripted show. So
one of my favorite shows ever.
I'm like rewatching it, and I knew it was awkward, but I forgot how awkward it was.
Oh, I love it.
And I'm like watching it, I'm like, ooh. And I like look around and be like, no, okay, just me.
I need to rewatch it. I did a few years ago, and it was
good.
Oh, I love it. This is the
first time I'm rewatching it from high school, and I don't even think I finished it.
Oh, I did.
Because there were 6 seasons. I think I only made it through 4.
I'm obsessed with that show. Maddie McKibben.
Oh my God, so beautiful.
My dream guy. I love
my friend and I
what's his name, Mitchell
together,
or something like that?
What was it? Tuesday nights it came on? My friend and I would get together.
Tuesday or Thursdays. Nights. Yeah.
And we would go hang out with like my other friend's little sister because she watched it. And we would sit there and just be like, oh my God, it's so awkward. For no reason. Like, it. We were well over the age of the awkwardness. We were probably 18.
Oh, I've never escaped that. This is how this type of stuff is how I feel 24/7 in like the best way. I do this in my life where I'm like, oh. Anyways.
Okay, so after Jax and Stassi split, she immediately started hanging out with Frank. We all know. Mm-hmm. She admits there was some emotional cheating. Like, she was talking to Frank.
Which, did you see the faces of, like, Jax, Kristen, Tom? They were like, and I was like, all right.
But, like, okay.
Not saying hers is right, but hers is pretty much negated by everything else that happened this season.
Also, not to say it's right, but obviously Jax and Stassi were having a lot of problems before this.
Oh, yeah.
Jax solved it by going to Vegas and getting some girl pregnant, whereas Stassi found a friend in Frank. I mean,
I think a lot of people emotional cheat a lot.
Yeah.
I think it happens all the time.
I can't even say
all the time.
But
the thing is, like, you're conscious and you make sure it doesn't go further.
Yes. Yeah.
And as long as it doesn't last for a very long time, sometimes you kind of have to emotionally cheat because you're just not. No relationship's going to be perfect.
Also, I don't know.
Especially at the end.
She admits there was, like, emotional cheating, but it also could be she just found, like, a friend in Frank, and she didn't mean for it to go any further.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you do find comfort to talk to a guy about a guy.
Yeah.
It happened.
I think that's how a lot of relationships kind of end and start whenever they kind of happen very closely together, is you are becoming closer to somebody, so then you start realizing it. And then you realize you need to break things off with that person before you move forward with somebody else.
Exactly. So, yeah, everyone's shocked that Stassi emotionally cheated. I rolled my eyes because I was
only shocked to hear. I was only shocked that, like, it started a little sooner than I thought. Like, we didn't see the Frank moment the next day, so I didn't realize like, how it had been building and, like, started so quickly.
I got suspicious when Frank drove Stassi to Peter's birthday.
Yeah, I was intrigued by that. But
She
still, like,
called the girls.
That could just be him.
He's on the way.
Them being friendly and him liking her and her just being like, yeah, like, just come pick me up.
Well, Jax feels really betrayed by Frank because Frank played both sides. He was blindsided by Frank, which again, I'm like, whatever, bro. I can't even. You gave or like
you did way
impregnated
worse.
a girl in Vegas. I can't even.
Yeah.
But Stassi, she waited to break up with Jax, but after that breakup, she hooked up with Frank 2 days later.
Which that really shows, in my opinion, how much was going on at the end of Jax and Stassi's relationship. Like, her and Frank clearly were getting very, very close. Which, that's the only reason I think Frank is truly a dick, is because he was giving advice to Jax while, in a sense, having an emotional relationship with Stassi.
Yeah, 100%.
You got to pick one side in that. You can be friends to both, but you cannot hear both their stories.
Agreed. And you shouldn't give, like, advice on it.
No.
Because he was clearly telling Jax, like, go to San Diego. Forget that girl. Don't move on. Yeah, that was a little.
Oh, he was pushing him away. Out.
Do what you got to do for love. So, Kristen then, in Vegas, she told everyone that Stassi and Frank had hooked up when Stassi and Jax were still together. And Stassi looks at Kristen and is like, what the fuck? And Kristen just goes, that's what I heard. Which, that immediately pissed me off so bad.
People do this stuff all the time. I hate when that happens because then it's you deflecting the problem on, like, well, other people were saying it. No, if there's a rumor about it and you're her best friend,
you should have gone.
You can't just believe that shit. Yeah, why don't you have a conversation with her? And if she's kind of sketchy, then believe it. But Sheena brings this up. She's like, well, did you go talk to her? No.
Then
why would you believe that?
Getting involved. Like, Sheena immediately was like, fuck you, Kristen.
I like that Sheena's just very, like, direct about things. Well, why wouldn't you go talk to your best friend about that? If I heard that my best friend broke up with a guy and started dating a new one, and then I found out that she had been sleeping with the other one beforehand, I would immediately, like, run and be like, what? I can't believe you didn't tell me. Not that I'm upset. It'd be like, whoa, that, like, did that actually happen? That's what people are saying.
Yeah.
But Kristen just took this for what it was and was like, oh, I believe it. Because it fit her narrative.
You check with your best friend and you have to say, people are saying that. So they're aware of the rumor and they can take care of it if needed. And you can find out how they want to play it. Like, so over it. And Kristen is so rude to Sheena. She's like, Sheena, you weren't even around then. And Sheena loved her.
I wish Sheena would have said, I didn't have to be around. This is all over TV. I basically was there at this point.
Well, I still like her response. She goes, well, I'm here now.
True.
And I was like, fuck yeah, she is. She is.
You can see the rift in Kristen and Stassi is still there.
Yeah, I think
they'll socially be okay, but they will not be full friends.
It's like again. A relationship. The trust is broken. Kristen blatantly chose Jax over Stassi. Like, beyond
still is.
blatantly.
And still, the way she talks, you can tell in her comments and everything and her actions in this entire reunion that she backs Jax still.
Like, for me, that's like a relationship when you're cheated on. Like, the trust is just fucking broken. Like, I can't get on top of it. Okay, so Sandoval also heard this, and he definitely thinks it happened, which Sandoval is like a third party. He's not friends with Stassi. As far as I'm concerned, Sandoval and Stassi are like friends through the friend group. They're not actually like friends.
The only reason I would believe this is if somebody gave me a timeline. We talked about timelines with Jax cheating. Like, Stassi could believe it if she could pinpoint it to this. Yeah. So if they could pinpoint it to Jax maybe spending the night at somebody else's place because they were in a fight, and so then because it was like Frank a week out, they saw Frank, or like somehow they had heard Frank and Stassi hung out that night. Okay, I could probably believe it more.
I almost think it shows a lot that Stassi's like, there was emotional cheating, but like there was nothing physical that happened, and she's going to stand by that. And you know what? She's been right this whole summer. I got to fucking believe her. I don't believe any of these assholes. Jax says it hurts to hear what was happening, but he deserves it, which literally.
He is playing, I don't even know what he's
still the victim. He's like, I'm not the victim, but I'm still the victim. He's giving me that vibe, you know?
He's like, oh, poor me. I messed up. I'm so sorry.
Why won't anyone forgive me?
This hurts. Like,
I'm so sad.
My emotions were hurt here. Yeah. That I think he tries to push off the before they broke up moment and focus on after they broke up. Like, I was just here and I was lonely. He just makes himself out to be sad, which people are so drawn to.
Yeah, which I don't understand. It's like ricocheting off me. Like, I just kind of don't care.
Ugh.
Stassi says she hung out with Frank, not to hurt Jax, but Frank was the first man to give her, like, positive attention. And I think dating Jax for 2 years, it really, like, wore down on her. And Frank was the first guy to, like, treat her nicely in a long time.
I think Stassi said this or like later, I think, that Jax, or maybe, I don't even know when she said it, but she said at one point, like, she's always dated the bad boy, but, like, Frank's the nice guy. And I think because of the emotional cheating and, like, the confiding in, like, at the end of her and Jax's relationship is what set her up to actually go for Frank. And then the girls really solidified it with, like, F you, we're done with you. I don't think she would normally – I think if this had run its course, no Jax room ever happened, her and Jax, like, broke up, her and Frank, like, went out the next morning and, like, hung out a few times, I don't think they ever really truly would have gotten together.
You know what I think also helps is she said in all her past relationships someone cheated on her. That it seems like Frank was way more into this relationship than Stassi kind of was.
Oh, yeah.
And even the girls kind of said
that's why I think they broke up.
Yeah, like, Frank was clearly kind of a rebound, but Stassi to Frank, like, wasn't. So I think it also helps when you have a guy who's, like, so into you and will do something, like, almost anything to make you happy. And, like Jax wasn't doing that clearly anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that also was, like,
I think she was attracted to the idea of it. And then whenever everybody turned against her, it's like, well, I have to double down on this. Like, this is all I have.
I made my bed. I'm gonna fight for it now.
Yeah. We're going to sit in this place for a bit.
So then Andy asks Kristen and Katie if they think they owe Frank an apology. Katie says she's sorry for calling Frank a liar and didn't believe him, but not for anything else. And Kristen says she isn't sorry she didn't believe Frank, but she's sorry to Stassi that she didn't believe her. And Sheena said she was the only one that believed Stassi and had her back because Kristen believed Jax.
I think Katie's answer is the best. She believed what she believed. Katie's owning up to this stuff and just saying, like, listen, I shouldn't have called him a liar. He obviously was, like, I regret that. He obviously was telling the truth. So, yeah, I regret calling him a liar because he wasn't. She still doesn't support him. She still doesn't support the relationship. But, yeah, there's no reason they needed to full-on attack him. And Kristen's just doubling down here.
I hope she looks so stupid. Like, I hope she realizes how stupid she looks.
Well, Stassi says that. Like, you guys were idiots. And they're like, no, we weren't.
Yeah. And I like how because I think it really makes Katie and especially Kristen mad that Sheena is kind of now, like, Stassi's good friend because, like, they kind of fucked up and now Sheena's proven herself to be nothing but a good friend.
The door was open for Sheena to walk right in.
And Stassi, like, looks at Sheena and goes, what Sheena did is what friends are supposed to do. Like, what you two did is not what friends do.
I agree.
Like, she supported me throughout everything, even though I was a bitch to her. This girl still had my back. And
I know. I don't know.
I
think this whole season, I've said it, Kristen and Katie were defending the friend group, not Stassi.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted the friend group to survive. They could not give two shits about what Stassi felt. Sheena could not give two shits about this friend group and barely cares about Stassi, but just on a human level, I think was very truly worried about her. I don't think Sheena, in a way, like, they're exaggerating it, Sheena and Stassi, about, oh, like, Sheena had my back, like, she knew, like, Frank was telling the truth. But the thing is like Sheena never truly doubted her, said she was wrong.
Yeah.
Which I think is the fine line.
In Stassi's rock bottom, the only one that was there to help her out was Sheena. So and I don't even think, like, they even talked about, like, Jax is lying. Katie and Chris
it was just true support.
Yeah, it was just, you're sad and I want to help you. Which is, like, the most, oh my God, this friendship makes me die inside. I love it. Okay. Let's go into Vegas a little bit.
Oh, God.
Jax. Sorry. Oh, my God. Did you hear my burp?
It was little.
A little mini burp.
A little croak.
So I was really trying to hide it, and the carbonation of beer now just kills me.
You're so funny.
So Jax decides to fight for Stassi in Vegas. It doesn't really work out. Jax admits that he wanted to kill and beat up Frank. Andy acknowledges that Stassi casually threw a beer into Schwartz's face because Schwartz said, "Fuck you, Stassi." And he asks why guys take their shirts off for fights. So we have, like, a lot to unravel here.
Oh, yeah.
Real men fight naked. I've said it before, and I'll fucking say it again.
I love this conversation about the shirts off because Sandoval owns up to this shit. Like, I was the first one. It's kind of my fault. And
he goes,
Andy, I think Andy's shocked. Yeah, Andy's like, wait, why were you the first one? Where were you? Well, I mean, I took a Xanax that night.
I took a Xanax.
And, and Andy was like, that still doesn't explain, like, taking a Xanax does not lead to just ripping your shirt off.
That man, Sandoval, blacked out. No idea.
This is why I think they just blindly follow Jax in all things. Like,
yeah, because Jax said he took his shirt off because he liked his sweater. And
that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me over the Xanax. That chunky sweater was a white sweater. If he says he's going to kill Frank, he's thinking blood. Bloodstains are hard to get out of.
I get it.
Of that white sweater, I'd fucking rip that sweater off.
Tom Sandoval, if I remember correctly, he was wearing a black shirt. Not as necessary.
No.
Also, come on, in a fight, do we think Tom Sandoval or Frank would have won? I think Frank would have gotten the upper hand.
I think Jax would have beaten Frank to the pulp, but
I think that would have been a better matchup, but I think Jax was way madder, so he was just, like, fired up.
No, I think Jax is a little bigger, heavier. Yeah.
Okay. But Tom Sandoval would have gotten his ass whooped by Frank.
Especially on that Xanax.
He had no idea what was happening. Then we talk about skinny dipping in Vegas. It's not a SUR thing to get naked, but maybe it's an LA thing. We're not sure.
I love the clarification, like, Lisa. No, that's not a SUR thing. No, let's just strike that from the record.
Absolutely not. Everyone wears clothes. So, okay.
Barely wears clothes. That's SUR.
Then Andy goes, so Jax, that night you got with Laura Lee, which I was like, wait a minute. Where's the timeline coming? I think Jax, this is my thought. Just hear me out. Okay, are you ready? Okay.
I think I know exactly what you're saying.
Took the flight home from Vegas. Because the next day.
Got the dog.
Laura Lee was babysitting his dog while he was in Vegas.
Because that wouldn't be that weird.
Yeah. Like, hey, I'm going to Vegas last minute. You're going to Vegas last minute, even though you've been disinvited, and you're like, someone at SUR. There's only 3 people. It's like Sheena, Tina, and Laura Lee. Hey, Laura Lee, will you watch my dog? Oh, yeah. I get kicked out of Vegas. I take the flight home. Oh, I'm home. I'm angry at what happened at Vegas. I just I just need to have some sex. Hey, Laura Lee, thanks for babysitting my dog. Should we go on a hike and then lunch and then dinner?
Oh, I don't think even it was like, let me have some sex. I mean, in a way it is, but how can I fuck with Stassi? How can I do the worst right now? Because out of the people who were there and shown on the episode, Laura Lee is the only ones that was like friends with Stassi that were stuck in LA.
Because all the B-listers were on their way to LA, so it could have. There were 3.
Because there are a few people, who were not in LA, and then also there's going to be a section of the crew that is not filming this at all. And he's not going to do that. He's going to make sure it's somebody who is kind of open to filming.
And it's not going to be Sheena because she is Shay. And it's not going to be Tina because Tina's
she's
entire
smart.
class.
She's out of this shit. Yeah.
And so it's going to be Laura Lee because she was the only other girl featured at working at SIR that Friday night.
And basically ever. Like, we got her, like, a time before that, too, but...
And that's the same episode that, like, we got Laura Lee for the first time, and Sheena was like, I like Laura Lee, but her voice fucking sucks. And it was like, why would they show us Laura Lee? Oh, wait, because this blew my mind. I was like, at the time...
I know, I didn't...
So
again, it's like, I didn't realize how quickly these things happened.
Yeah. So when Stassi was skinny dipping and at the club... Jax was fucking Laura Lee.
Literally that night, yeah.
Yeah, that night.
Oh my God.
That's crazy. Okay, so Jax admits he was trying to make Stassi jealous, but said he shouldn't have done what he did. He wishes the best for Laura Lee because she was so nice. Which I think Laura Lee was nice. She was dealt a bad hand. She probably shouldn't have fucked Jax.
I don't like the way Jax talks about her.
Laura Lee.
Yeah, I still think he looks down on her, and, like, I just don't think – I think the way he speaks is so disgusting.
He obviously doesn't respect women. Like, let's just get that out
That's just very clear, yeah. I don't know. This just really bothered me because when he was talking about, like, yeah, like, I made a mistake, and, like, Lisa's trying to, like, get it out of him of, like, you shouldn't have used Laura Lee as a pawn. And I think he's the one who can identify the way things come off, not that he needs to change his mindset. And I hate people like that where they know how to speak to make sure it doesn't sound so shitty, but they don't mean it.
No.
He doesn't mean this. You can tell everything he says this entire reunion, he does not mean this.
Absolutely not. He's just...
Even when he says, like,
trash.
I still love her. You can tell in people's eyes when they mean stuff.
Jax is just trying to play it so he's not the bad guy. And I think in a way he's succeeding.
Oh,
like, I think a lot of people sympathize with Jax.
100. I get myself caught up too. And then, like, when he's like, I still love Stassi, the tone of voice and the eyes, you can just tell he doesn't. And I'm like, you're saying this just to say it.
He's almost convincing people because he's like, obviously I, like, still love Stassi. And it's like,
do you?
Obviously to no one. But okay, so Jax had said that Laura Lee was the best sex of his life. And Andy asked Stassi, how did it feel to hear that? And Stassi said she knew it was a lie.
Oh, yeah. This is where Stassi's confidence. Stassi's confidence is perfect.
Yeah. And then they asked Jax about it, and Jax is like, well, obviously Stassi is the best everything that I've ever had in my life.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm like, why couldn't you just say, well, obviously Stassi's the best sex I had? Like,
wait, okay.
He has to say everything.
It cracks me up because Sandoval then makes a comment. And he's like, Jax is doing that Tom Cruise on a couch, I'm in love thing. And it looks like he's not so in love when he does that.
Yes.
I remember watching that and being like, this man's fucking insane. And look at Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. They're divorced and Tom Cruise is a weirdo in Scientology.
Can't even talk to his daughter.
Yeah, because Katie Holmes is on that shit. Guys, I have a lot of opinions about Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise, but we'll save that for a different podcast. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about Jax and his public sex parade.
Oh, God.
Fucking everywhere. In one episode, Jax had sex with Laura Lee in SIR and in a sushi place. And Lisa
do we think those were like, how close together do we think those were? I don't think they were that close.
I think it was the same day.
I don't think so.
I kind of do.
Because they weren't at night, though. They went to that sushi place that night. I'm thinking like 2 days apart.
I'm trying to think when they went to the sushi place and when Ken told Lisa that they had sex.
See, I think the sushi place happened before, SIR.
Oh, I think SIR happened before.
No, I think that's just they edited it that way.
We will never know. Okay, so Lisa calls them out. Stassi thought it was absolutely disgusting, and it hurt too because she has no respect for that. It's honestly so disgusting. I have to agree with her. It's like the grossest thing.
After finding that out, I could never look at that bathroom again.
No.
I'm a person who, like, places matter to me. that finding that out, I would look at that restroom like door and be like, every time I see it, I'd be like, he fucked her on the bathroom floor here.
I think if you want to have sex in public, you do your thing, but don't do it at work. And don't do it where other people need to constantly go. Like, please don't do it in a bathroom where, like, I have to go and, like, half my body needs to be naked and it's, like, a weird, like, I have to sit in there. Like, if you're going to do it in, like, an alley or something. That alley
No, I don't think having sex in a bathroom is that bad. The sushi place doesn't bother me that much, to be honest.
Sir bothers you?
Sir bothers me because that is way too far of a fuck you. Plus, that is your employment place. I could not imagine having sex in my like work bathroom.
If we go to Sir, we have to find this bathroom.
Oh my God, I thought you were about to say we have to have, like, we need to find people to have sex with. I was like, I'm not having sex in the Sir bathroom.
No, we just need to go to that bathroom and be like, take a picture with it and be like, this is where
I don't want to have sex in public places, but it doesn't bother me that Jax had sex in a sushi bathroom. He had sex at his work. Because I think that shows you have zero boundaries.
I would have sex in public places, but also I would not in like that kind of, not in my work.
Not work.
Not in a bathroom. I think that's kind of weird.
I could do a bathroom. Like a single stall, like, you know, like a...
To me, now with coronavirus, I just see germs. Like, it's just not happening to me. Someone sneezed in that bathroom.
If you're going to pee in there, why can't you have sex in there, like, germ-wise?
I'm out. No, thank you. What show was I watching where The Challenge. Someone accused this girl of having sex in a porta potty. And I was like, how would that work? I was like, ew, that's like...
I thought about that one. A bathroom's a lot easier because of the sink.
And the bathroom's bigger, and you're not just on the crap. You're not
breathing in shit.
Yeah, no. Okay,
anyways.
So now we're going to talk about the staff meeting. Andy reads all the texts that Stassi sent to Laura Lee from that episode, a.k.a. Welcome to a Life of No More Friends. If you want to know the text, please listen to a previous episode. I went through them all. I didn't rewrite them. Did you write them? Is that why you were like...
not at all.
Okay, cool. Stassi says she doesn't regret sending those text messages. She was so hurt by Laura Lee. And
this is the kind of bitch I love and know. You own up to your shit and you don't back down. It's like, I don't regret it. I was hurt. I did it. I'm not saying it was right, but I did it. This is what I love.
Sheena said that Laura Lee did it to herself. She willingly got in a relationship with Jax, even being Stassi's friend. And Sheena doesn't feel bad for her, which I gotta give it to Sheena, man. Yeah, same. Like, you kind of fucking did it.
Sheena's very direct and, like, she's black and white. I've noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
You know you were getting yourself into. Yeah, I don't wish this upon you, but you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean...
You didn't know the specific tactic. You didn't know the rage text, but you knew the minute you slept with him.
What was going to happen.
Something was going to happen.
Yeah. 100%.
Every time you make a bad decision, and not even that this was a bad decision, but I feel like everybody filters in their mind like, fuck.
What could go wrong?
I just fucked up because X. You know exactly what you did, when you did it, and who you're making mad or doing this XYZ. She knew 100%. Exactly when she slept with Jax, like, fuck, Stassi's going to be pissed.
So Jax was very happy when Stassi sent these texts because that's how he knew that Stassi cared.
She cared. Which is true. She should have. I feel like this is people's problem is when you rage text. We talked about this last episode. There's the difference between love, hate, and they both mean that you care and, like, you're invested, but being apathetic and having, like, apathy towards somebody means you have zero care in the world.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I say
sometimes,
hate.
While people love, sometimes, like, people hating you is a little bit more.
That's why I just like saying that I hate people that I, like, actually just don't want anything to do with. Because it means I care about them, and I, like, don't want to give that off.
Oh, I would only rage text the people I care about.
Yeah, 100%. There was this one dude from high school, and he saw me in college time, and he's like, do you still hate me? And I was like, because I thought about it, and I was like, honestly, I don't give a fuck about you. So no, I don't hate
That's
you.
the best feeling.
And I think
when you're
that
finally
bothered
over
him
it.
more. That bothered him more.
Oh yeah, to be like, shit,
no.
you don't feel about this, or like you
I
don't
feel
think about
nothing.
this. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Kristen losing her mind because she met Cassandra.
God, this is my least favorite topic they talked about.
Well, Cassandra was a girl who previously slept with Tom before Kristen and Tom started dating because he used to live with these two girls who were seniors.
In high school.
Seniors in high school. Not senior citizens, which would have somehow been better.
No,
but seniors
actually, that's
in high
kind of
school.
Worse. Weird.
At least they would have like. He's like they were 18, and if you have to fucking clarify that, let's just.
Okay, no, but that kind of did because whenever we saw it as like a preview before commercial, and it just said they were in high school, and I was like, what the fuck? And then he was like, no, they were 18, which I was like, okay, thank God there was a boundary. But he didn't know they were in high school before they moved in.
Yeah.
Which does help slightly. And then he knew they were 18 before he slept with one of them. I'm just saying, there were some box checked. It's creepier if he was like, I didn't even ask their age, and then I found out that thank God they were 18. That's creepier.
It's so weird. Sheena then, because Kristen's like freaking out, like, ew, it was in my bed and it was in my house. And Sheena's like, you moved into Tom's apartment. Like, he slept with other girls there. Like, I think it's a really good
Why do
point.
you like, well, I think what she was getting at is like, you know what you're getting yourself into, again, like people knowing what they're doing, and then you only seem affected by this one person. It's not like, oh, I always hate that we have his bed and I had to meet somebody who we slept with in it. She doesn't give a shit that they sleep in the same bed for how many years?
And like Katie says, it'd be unsettling for any girl, which I get. Like, no girl wants to meet another girl that their boyfriend slept with. I 100% get that. But if you willingly move into your boyfriend's apartment and use your boyfriend's bed,
get a new fucking bed, just a mattress.
You can't be shocked if he slept with someone else.
If you run into somebody, he had sex within that bed. Yeah.
You can't be like, this is your fault. Oh, I'm freaking out. It's like
she blamed it on the bed. That's what I didn't like, is it's like about the bed.
You can get a new bed. Like, it's so easy. It doesn't cost, like, it's not cheap, but like.
It clearly didn't affect you when you moved in.
Yeah, it's been 6 years that you've been dating.
Promise you, if I move in with a boyfriend and somehow we're in his apartment and I have no furniture apparently,
you're as poor as Kristen is.
We're buying a new fucking mattress. That's like our first purchase.
Yeah, they have lived together for like 5 or 4.
I find it weird that they've never bought a new mattress.
This is the girl that bothers you. This one.
I would rather buy a mattress off somebody else so I didn't know who they like.
Yeah,
it's a clean mattress to us, like our relationships.
So we have a little Stassi Sheena banter because Stassi said that Cassandra didn't look like a hooker anymore, so she didn't look like Sheena. Sheena plays it off really well. She's like, whatever.
See, I like this because they're friends. Like, I think they both know they take their digs in stride. It's not that big of a deal. They were both trying to hurt each other. And Stassi said she didn't mean it and she apologized.
Well, let's talk about Sheena being a freaking pop star.
Can you freak, bitch? Did I do good that time?
That one wasn't really good. That was really good. It
was a little
more nasally. You need a little more nasal.
Can you freak, bitch? Is that good? The salt's doing me well this episode. I'm literally so relaxed, just chilling on my couch.
I think we're way more fun when we drink. We're gonna have to drink a lot more.
This is my entire life. I'm a fun person, but I just am so much more loose. That sounds so creepy. Never mind. I hate myself.
Andy asked Sheena if she was inauguration Beyonce or Super Bowl Beyonce.
I love this because I don't think she understood what he meant.
I don't think she knows what an inauguration is.
No. I think she knows what an inauguration is, but I don't think she got the references.
What do you mean? Like she didn't picture...
Did you lip sync or not?
Oh, I didn't get that. That's way better.
Awesome. Like they have to lip sync, I think, at the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Was that an inauguration in Super Bowl, right? Was that
it?
With 2 references?
Yeah.
That there's like, which one were you? So you can't really say you're both. Most people do sing over their tracks when they do lip sync.
Yeah.
They like, in theory, sing. Sometimes the mic is turned off, but that way it looks more natural.
Oh my gosh.
But you can't be both.
That. She didn't get it. I didn't get it. We get it now. Hey,
I
Sheena
still don't
girl,
think
what's up?
That's, yeah. But yeah, she was lip syncing.
Yeah.
Which makes so much more sense why, in my opinion, the audio was so off, because she was actually full on out singing over her track.
Because we heard different voices. Like, we talked about this when we watched it. We were like,
we thought it was the backup singers.
I thought it was.
Which she did say the backup singers, like on the reunion, she said the backup singers were singing too, because she was so out of breath.
Thank God for those background singers. Stassi had said that Sheena should leave singing to people with talent. And Sheena responds with, well, okay, come to my show. Watch me freak, bitch. Boom.
Which I don't mind. But also, I think Sheena needs to start owning she's a performer, not a singer. She did that really well in one of her, like, interviews.
Whatever. You know what? The next track, and I'm giving, it's not a spoiler, but it's like excitement for the next season. The next track that Sheena drops is a banger. And I can't fucking wait for it. It's my favorite Sheena song. Okay, so originally, Stassi went to Sheena's performance to make fun of her. She went to sneer, but stayed to cheer.
Another 10 out of 10, Lisa. I actually love that quote.
I do too. I wrote it.
There are so many things I need to start using in my vocabulary. Mainly, a lot of ones I've tucked away in my head that I just never find a great moment are Schitt's Creek's references. Oh, I love Schitt's Creek. My friend was like, talking about how her dad told her sister on a phone call, her sister was bitching about her life, and she goes, the dad goes, I'm going to take a selfish, and I just like need to hang up.
Oh my God.
The daughter.
I love it. I used
take a selfish
all the time. I use warmest regards now because I love that. Warmest regards when I'm trying to dismiss someone. Also, my friend described me as a David, which I'm not offended by, but
I'm Alexis. My dad yells at me because I use my hands a lot when I talk, when I'm like really into something. And
David.
And he's always like, listen, we're not doing this little Alexis thing.
Oh my God, that's so cute. No, my friend was straight up like, all the faces you make is David. And I was like, I don't fucking understand.
If anybody hasn't seen Schitt's Creek, season 1 through 5 on Netflix.
We're waiting for season 6.
I'll tell you how to watch it later.
Oh my God. Okay. So, Sheena, out after her show, went outside, saw how upset Stassi was.
Yes.
And she just saw someone who needed a friend. And because she has a freaking heart of gold, she went over there and they became friends. And now they're crazy close because Stassi loves Sheena. And this is the friendship that I want, the friendship that I need.
Did you see Kristen's face during this?
Yeah, she was like, ugh,
she was full on disgusted. And I was thinking, aren't you the one who says that you've loved Sheena forever?
Oh my God. When was that she was like, I've always liked Sheena?
Kristen and Tom had like a party. The party where they finally could hang out with Jax and Laura Lee and not make it weird. And Sheena could come because she's always liked her.
I've always liked Sheena.
So why is it a big deal? It's only a big deal to Kristen because Kristen and Stassi aren't as close.
And I think because Sheena was clearly a better friend than Kristen. And now Kristen's like, I don't believe it. Let's talk about Frank.
Or the lack of Frank's job.
Frank was fired. And what Frank did was awful. And Lisa doesn't stand for it. He was immediately fired. And then he met Stassi's parents. And
he handled it well, though. The one thing about Frank, I feel like he like crushes moments like this on camera.
He does. He knows what to do. But for Jax, this was just the worst and most painful part.
Which I agree. This is probably the hardest. This is an awkward thing because he said he spent a lot of time with them, which I believe that. Like, how weird to watch this on TV. I
think this is a big, like, I've moved on step, as if you're introducing.
And I think she rushed it on purpose.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so Stassi and Frank fight and they break up. Stassi couldn't believe the fight because it came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Andy then reminds Stassi that she said after the disagreement with Frank, the quote was, "God is literally trying to kill me." It was because Stassi had 2 breakups in one summer, had no friends, had to work with all of her ex-friends and ex-boyfriends at SUR.
And watch her ex-boyfriend basically fuck a girl in the bathroom. This, I agree. This obviously is a dramatic statement, but I'd say this shit.
Literally trying to kill me. Yeah.
I say that when I wake up in the morning.
Your alarm goes off and you're just like, God's
trying to kill me.
Stassi says she does take some blame because she knows she's impossible to deal with. And Jax goes, "That's what I love about her."
These are the comments I hate.
Ugh.
I hate. He's just trying to make good with her. He's like, "You're so funny." Like,
but I love Lisa goes.
Person.
Lisa goes, "If you really care about her being upset, then why were you with Laura Lee? Don't give me that."
Yes.
Thank God. So then does anyone ever see Frank? And Stassi
No. Everybody's like, no. And Stassi's like, I have.
Because her and Frank dated after the show wrapped, and they just recently ended. And she says Frank was a better boyfriend than Jax.
Which is true.
Jax and Stassi have something different, but Jax isn't a good boyfriend because he lets her down 24/7.
Which, that was really harsh.
Yeah, but like kind of true.
He gets stuck 24/7, seriously?
He's like, "Come on, it takes 2." And she's like, "You just said you loved me a fucking second ago."
This is what I don't like, is he can't get any criticism. Jax cannot get any criticism.
Ever.
But he like can own up to shit on his own when they're not talking about it, so it looks good on his part. But the minute he gets criticized, he can't own up to it. Which I think the 24/7 thing was harsh. Because that's true. Like, they were together for 2 years. He didn't upset you 24/7.
I kind of liked it.
But, it was just a dig. But it's also interesting to see, again, the comparison of the relationships, that Frank was a great boyfriend. He really was. But her and Jax just have this pull. That it's hard.
Chemistry.
Yeah. It sucks when you meet somebody like that because it's hard to, like, get over them. And Frank's just, the chemistry isn't there, so I think that's why they don't work. Mm-hmm. The idea of it seems great.
Jax said that when Stassi was with Frank, Jax would text Stassi and ask if she needed anything or wanted a ride. And Lisa was like, "What the fuck? Why would you say that to her when she's with Frank?" And Jax just goes, "Because I love her." And Lisa goes, "You don't love her enough to be faithful to her."
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, Lisa's the only one that I like. Like, I would be Lisa in this. I'd be like,
yes.
I don't know.
I love it. It's weird he would text her. It's so stalkery.
It's like when you break up and then you're like, "Do you want me to give you a ride to work?" Because remember when you guys lived together and you didn't wake her up to ask if she wanted a ride for work, so you just fucking left her? But now it's like,
let me just be so helpful. But if they were to get back together, this would all dissolve. This is not like lasting. He does not give a shit about being a nice person. He just wants to get back in her pants.
So then we get to the Laura Lee breakup. Andy asked Jax about the concerns with breaking up with Laura Lee after seeing what a fragile state she was in. Jax was concerned that then Laura Lee wreaked hell in front of the customers. So, which, dude,
I loved it.
Sorry, I've been fucking you every day without protection. Ooh, my beer almost spilled. I'm gonna move it. I loved Laura Lee at the bar. I thought it was the funniest fucking thing in the world.
I think it's the first time she wasn't trying to be like nice and sweet and like perfect. So which I like that Laura Lee better. I mean, like, I really weird. I would love and hate to be that customer at the end of the bar.
I would love it. I'd be like, "What's happening?"
Yeah, but I'd also be like, "Yeah, maybe I enjoy my day." Yeah, like, can I just? But I wish we got more of like a real personality of Laura Lee guard down, because I feel like I feel like this also happens whenever it's like a pilot season of a show. Everybody kind of has their guard up. She just seemed to always be perfect and
I'm Laura Lee. Lisa says Jack should have ended it there. And then because that was ridiculous. Jack's like ignoring her was absolutely ridiculous. Which
she said, I wish you would have like shut her down.
Oh.
So she wouldn't have screamed. Because you can tell this whole season Lisa's really big on like the way things come off to clients. Yeah. That she was saying like, I wish you would have shut her down and stopped it and like had a different conversation.
Gotcha. So Andy says it was absolutely brutal watching Laura Lee at the recovery meeting getting dumped by Jax. And Jax at the time didn't realize that it was not a great thing to do, but he was going off this comment she made that after her meetings, she felt so strong. So that's why he
this is where he is so bad at thinking of actually thinking of other people. He was clearly looking for a spot in time, and the quickest one I think he could find was, oh, she's happy after AA meeting. We're doing that like tomorrow.
She got jaxed.
I would have. She got way jaxed. I would have just started chugging alcohol at that point.
She got jaxed. So speaking of Tom Sandoval, let's talk about his hair.
Our lovely 2-minute clip of just like randomness.
Tom says it takes 15 minutes, but Kristen says that's a blatant lie.
Oh, 100% a lie.
Tom uses all makeup products, including guy liner.
Bronzer.
Love some guy liner.
Some bronzer. Like body bronzer and face, like it all. They are throwing out types of bronzer, and she's like, yes, that one and that one.
Tom also shaves his whole face, not just his forehead, because it exfoliates the skin. And look at his lack of wrinkles.
I've heard of a lot of people doing this.
They shave their forehead?
No, their whole face.
Including their forehead?
Well, yeah, if you're going to shave here as a woman, like women do it.
Oh.
Yeah, they shave their whole face.
I was told I shouldn't shave my face. I'm a very hairy person. I have hair. I am Guatemalan and Italian. I've been getting my mustache waxed since I was in the 4th grade. I understand facial hair.
God. 4th grade? That's so sad. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, someone in 3rd grade told me.
I was about to say, you probably had to because somebody made a comment.
Someone in 3rd grade said that I had a better mustache than their dad. This is a real thing.
Oh, I'm so sorry to laugh.
But I always kept it hidden until, okay, I'm going to shout out my high school boyfriend, even though he's trash. He could not grow facial hair to save his life. And he one day was like, it's kind of emasculating that you can grow a better mustache than me. And I was like, oh, good. We're just both embarrassing. So then I've now owned my mustache since then.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I got a mustache.
Yeah, one of the old Real Housewives of New Jersey used to shave her face. She talked about it often.
But then it grows back thicker and darker.
Yeah, once you start, you got to commit for the rest of your life. It's kind of like your leg hair. Like,
I know a girl that shaved her eyebrows, and I was like, not like her eyebrows off, but shaved around, and I was like, that's dangerous, girl. You should not.
There are some people who do like a microblading type thing.
Which is like fine, but you can't just take, this girl took a razor to like the middle of her unibrow.
Stop.
I'm
imagining no eyebrows and then coming back as thick as Dan and Eugene Levy.
It's a real thing, but I don't know if I can shave my face.
No, I mean, like, I wouldn't want to have the upkeep, to be honest.
No, and I mean, like, I do have sideburns, which one time a hairstylist shamed me for. She was like, "You don't shave your sideburns," and I was like, "Am I supposed to? I'm 17." So now I keep my sideburns.
Oh, I've never been so happy to be blonde. When I broke my arm, my arm hair was so ratchet. I had to shave my whole arm when I broke my arm and had a cast on it.
You shave your arm?
No. Just one time I did.
Oh.
Because after I got my cast off, they tell you to because it's so gross. You have to shave your whole hair, like arm hair.
Ew. My sister has, because she has lighter features, she has like blondish hair on her body. But her hair is like a fucking bush. So you just see this blonde bush coming out of her arm. And she's like, how come? Because I don't have I don't have a lot of arm hair, but it's dark. And she's always like, how come I have light hair, but I have a 1,000 more times than you, but you have like the darkest hair known to man, but you don't have any. And I'm like, I don't have my arm. Whatever. She doesn't have a mustache.
I love this insight. I'm dying. My face hurts so bad from laughing and smiling.
There was also a girl in my dance class that had
Stop.
a hairy back.
We gotta move on.
So sad. Okay.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have to pee my pants.
So it's been a while since Jax has been in Stassi's pants, but he has been to therapy. We find out, like we said last episode, he lied to his therapist. If you can't be honest with your therapist, when's he going to be honest, honestly? But Jax eventually came clean. And Lisa's like, you just do what you want to when you want to.
Yep. And here's what bothers me. I mean, this is all I do with this podcast is talk about things that bother me. We don't find out if Jax has ever been back. It's not mentioned. It's not asked. In my opinion, it seems like he never went back. Because the moment they talked about him lying to the therapist, I feel like he would have been like, okay, when I went back for like my third visit, yeah, like I was finally honest with her.
I think he went back once because he said he eventually came clean. So he's gone to 2 therapy sessions.
No. He was saying that he eventually came clean to everybody else, so that's all that mattered.
Oh.
Because he was like, they were all saying, like, if you can't be honest with your therapist, like that whole line, like, why couldn't you tell her? And he was like, yeah, but I eventually told everyone.
My eyes just roll into the back of my head because this man is absolute trash.
All I'm going to say is for everybody out there, I highly recommend therapy. Greatest experience in my life.
I love therapy.
On the search for a new therapist now that I've moved. So if anybody knows anyone in St. Louis,
I need to find a new therapist.
Let me know. I always go to, there's a website I always go to, and I like read bios. It's kind of like dating for like finding your therapist.
Yeah, I'm nervous to find a bad, because in college I had to switch therapists, and then I had one I didn't like, and it was
they like list like what they're best qualified for, so you can like, based on your issues.
Oh my god, will you send me the website?
I'll have to re-find it again, but yes.
Should we send it to Jax, because obviously he has issues? Okay, so
let's hope and pray he's gotten them sorted out.
Jax comes clean to Stassi. She obviously knew something was up when he showed up with a fucking giant bouquet of flowers.
Yeah, how could you not? It's like a giant neon sign, like, I fucked up.
I'm sorry.
That's what flowers mean to girls.
Agrees that it was super hard to watch. And Stassi and Sheena watched the Coming Clean episode together, and they both cried.
Which, that's so cute. That means they actually are close. They are not just, like, saying shit. Like, to watch that episode together.
Friendship. Stassi doesn't know if she can ever trust Jax again. Duh. Jax decided to tell the truth then because he couldn't take it anymore, and it was eating away at him.
This is dumb. This means telling the truth was about you and not about other people.
Jax is ashamed because he hurt the girl he thought he was going to marry someday and hurt his best friend.
No, he didn't say that immediately, though.
His best friend?
Andy said, well, like, you hurt your friends, too. And he was like, yeah, and, like, I hurt my best friends.
My eyes just can't stop rolling.
Like, he has to be pointed out that he does wrong. And he's like, yes, I know. But it's like, well, you didn't notice that.
But then Andy says something that we all think and says that Jax seems to be the only one here that isn't really upset right now.
Yeah, because everybody, they pan to pretty much everybody. Tom Sandoval has tears in his eyes. Lisa does. Stassi, like the girls do. They're all like upset knowing like their whole friendship got fucked over, starting with a breakup, but it could have recovered. And then there are now massive rifts in this group because of this.
And there still is. Like there clearly still is. And it's all because this person didn't want to come clean about his screw-ups.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to like earlier, they wouldn't say that they like owed Frank an apology or that they did anything wrong. Like people have to double down on this stuff to protect him still, all because of one lie at the beginning. And then it turns into multiple lies. Like think about how many lies, like they showed us the clip of him saying, no, that's not true. Like this is how it went down. And then you have other people, in a sense, telling lies because they're backing him up. He doesn't
Tom
care
says
about this.
No, not at all. And Tom doesn't buy Jax's apology and his newfound change because he feels like Jax is using this apology to get pity, because then people are like, oh my God, Jax, you're so strong to come out.
Yes.
Which is like exactly what we're saying.
That makes me so angry.
Jax doesn't feel good that his boss, his best friends and girlfriend all don't believe that he's a changed man. Which, like, oh my God, it's going to take fucking years for you to become a changed man. You think one therapy session, one big confession is going to, like...
Yeah. And when they talk about, like, when Andy says, like, you seem to be the only one not being upset about this, he's like, I'm just holding it in.
It's just... No, if you really have empathy and sincerity and sadness about this, like, you can't just hold it in and be like,
there's a way. I feel like if you were holding it in, it'd be so different. You'd be like, I just have to, like, hold it in, and you would see kind of the pain of, like, him saying that, like,
okay,
like, I have to hold it in, like, I don't cry, I don't like crying, you know, like, you'd be one of those people.
Yeah. When instead he just shrugs it, he's like, I'm just holding it in.
I'm holding. The way he says things, he's such a mactor. You know, I'm a
mactor.
I'm holding it in.
Well, here's the $1 million question. Is Jax a pathological liar?
Ready? Let's answer this. What we think. 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Yes.
You always buy.
Why was I late? I timed it perfectly with you.
I always just immediately say it, I think.
I tried to.
I need to pause. I need to pause. Okay, yes.
Tom says that he knows Jax is a pathological liar. Like, he's known Jax for years. Jax does this all the time, but Jax is still Tom's friend. Which, Tom's got to dump this dude.
No, I think this shows a lot about Tom and, like, Tom's own issues. Like, I have boundary issues. I can't let go of, like, people. He probably has, like, problems setting boundaries with his friends. It's just so easy to let him back in the fun moments, and then you're still there for the shitty things. It's just a giant cycle. And I guess someone for
so long that's been your friend that it's hard to let go.
And you probably don't want to give up on him. You were like, he can change. Yeah. Like, it's fine. Like, we'll do better.
So Jax says he has nothing else to come clean about. He feels pressure because everyone else is doing something with their lives. And Jax feels like he needs to figure out his life.
You're 33 years old. Figure it out.
Stassi has a meltdown because her friends turned their backs on her. Kristen immediately tells Lisa that that's not true. She didn't turn her back on Stassi, and says that Stassi chose to walk away from the friendship. So many thoughts that I've already explained. Kristen, you're fucking wrong.
Okay, here's my thing about friendships. It's a two-way street. So if somebody walks away, the minute you walk away, you both, like, fucked up. I've always said, like, I don't want a friendship to be on me. So if somebody walks away, I'm going to still put in some effort for a while, because then I know it's not on me. Mm-hmm. But Kristen saw Stassi pull away and immediately was like, well, I'm done too then.
And, like, I understand why Stassi pulled away. Like, her two best friends were cheering on her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, even before the Frank stuff, even, like, before everything, it's like, Kristen, you were rooting on Jax in front of her. She doesn't want to deal with that shit. So, yeah, she pulled back.
Andy then says to Stassi that maybe Katie and Kristen were trying to protect her. And Stassi was like, way to protect me to leave me alone for a whole fucking summer by myself.
Yeah.
Tom says he loves Stassi, but she's definitely calmed down during this time because before her ego was out of control, which Stassi admits she's, like, impossible to deal with.
I think Tom just wants a way to put her down.
And Kristen said that at this time, Stassi wasn't the same. And Stassi absolutely loses it. She's like, duh, no fucking shit. I wasn't the same. I just found out the love of my life fucked someone else in Vegas. Are you shitting me?
That was beautiful.
Thank you. I think I got the really shitting me kind of well, but and then Tom, of course, comes in because now they're, like, kind of arguing. And Tom says she can't blame it on that because she only hung out with people who kissed her ass. He's like, Fucking duh.
Yeah, and he says something about how he didn't ask about, or Stassi didn't ask about their relationships and didn't care about what they were going through. And she was like, why the fuck would I have, like, I'm sorry, I don't give a shit about your relationship at this point because you're clearly not giving a shit about me. So why would I ask about how you and Kristen are doing? My whole world's falling apart.
And then she says exactly what we've been saying. I hope all these idiots feel stupid about believing Jax because all summer they believe the wrong person and you should believe your best friend.
Shorty snaps from this one.
Katie says they've been a family for 3 years and Jax was also a part of that family. And Lisa's like, no. You hear Lisa like, no, Stassi was your friend. And I'm like, are you fucking serious, Katie? I get it, but like it's wrong. I get where you're coming from.
In this family context, okay, yeah, you don't cut him off. You don't stop talking to him. I get that because you're a family. I get those actions. But defending him, I don't think they realize like there are different ways to be a family and support people, but make sure you're supporting your best friend more than you're supporting the guy who fucked her over.
100%. And Jax single-handedly caused the breakup between him and Stassi, between Stassi's friends and Stassi, and made Stassi look like a crazy, stupid bitch. Because she wasn't. She was right. Y'all were wrong. Deal with it. Stassi's crying right now because this was the hardest summer of her life, because everyone has an opinion about it, and everyone somehow hates her, and she's heartbroken. Yeah. I don't know why everyone hates her, but we all...
And it was documented. She said, like, it's been so hard to have this documented, which I never really thought about. She's had to watch this whole season back again.
Over, yeah. So after everything, does Jax have a shot with Stassi?
I hope so.
Okay, if you were Stassi, would Jax get another shot?
I like how she says never say never.
Okay.
Because I agree. I think whenever you say no, then you really block yourself off to things. However, not at this point in time. Like, there would need to be a lot of changes, and it really starts with one-on-one therapy and probably couples therapy.
I like when she says she doesn't know because it's going to take a lot.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'd be like, maybe, but like the mountains you have to climb to get to me is just...
Yeah, I like that she says it's like, I don't know because it's going to take a lot rather than just like maybe, because then I think maybe leaves the door wider open for him.
Yeah.
Whereas it's going to take a lot as like, my door is 3 inches open.
Yeah.
You can whisper to me through it. Do not open the door.
Are you ready for the grossest line in the whole reunion?
Absolutely not.
Jax misses Stassi and his heart still is with her. Oh.
On a 0 to 10 fake level, where are we at?
A pure 11.
Oh, my entire... I'm doing it with my arms, everybody. My entire elbow is ripped off because this chart is so far.
Stassi says she'll always love Jax. They had something insanely special, and she doesn't think she'll ever find that again. But there's so much damage. Jax is still working on himself. It's been 6 months.
I'm sure.
He's still going. The dust never settles at Sir.
You know what, hun, Jax? I think you need a new therapist, because if you've been working on yourself for 6 months
and you're still here,
can't truly admit to it, apologize in a correct way, you're wasting a lot of time.
Well, should we end the reunion in a fun way with a
Bring
cocktail?
Out Peter!
Peter double shaking. He has those great arms. And we're drinking Pumpalicious.
Maybe that's what I need to do, like at-home workout.
We're drinking the Pumpalicious.
Is that what he said?
Ooh, yeah. Pumpalicious.
It was pink. Did you notice whenever he poured them out that the drinks were different shades of pink? Like, not in an artistic way. It's not like it went from one shade to another. They were just very different. And I was like, this doesn't...
Peter, you've been caught.
This doesn't do it for me.
And with that,
Leave us off.
1.
Wait, did you hear Lisa's last quote?
No, what is it?
Now, can we all remember I'm running a restaurant and not a kindergarten?
The end of season 1. One chapter down.
Scene.
This has been so much fun. I love season 1.
Oh, I loved it.
Meredith? Guess what? My favorite season's here. It's season 2. I love season 2. It's my favorite. I can't.
The beauty of going back to watch, you don't have to wait for the next one. We've got
so excited.
6 more seasons ahead of us.
6 more seasons, and you know what? If season 9 is on a hold, it looks like we're doing all 6 seasons.
Join us on this journey.
With that being said, if you feel like binging, join our Patreon. Patreon.com/Vanderpasta. We will be posting all of the Vanderpump news in our Facebook group when we find out what's happening with season 9. So you should join our Facebook group.
We'll be taking a small break from releasing these live. So if you do want season 2, they're pretty much all going to be up by the time you listen to this.
Meredith and I will continue to record, but we're probably going to take a 2-week break in between this and season 2. So sorry, but not really.
Go join the Patreon and have them all now.
Because we'll still be recording. We're just giving ourselves bigger leeway in case we need some time. Because right now we're busting out 3 a week, which is
it's aggressive.
A lot. Yeah, but I like it too because I don't forget what previously happened, you know?
That's true. It's fun.
I know what's going on. Well, I thought this was a great reunion. You know what? I was skeptical. I told you I know.
You weren't too excited. I was hyped by when we started recording.
I'm really into it right now.
It wasn't as great as it could be, but I'm not. This isn't a true spoiler, but I'm just going to say there are worse reunions we've seen.
Oh my gosh.
We hate one reunion out of them all the most.
When we make it there, I'm out. You're going to have to take the notes because I'm here with that.
It'll take 4. Maybe we'll just do it live.
Because it'll take 4 hours for me to get through that of those reunions.
We'll just make a video of it rather than.
So we don't have to communicate. People can just see our faces. We don't have to comment on everything.
No, we will comment on it live.
My face a lot of the time is going to be
that's okay. Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for season 1.
Is in the books. Join us on our Patreon for Secrets Revealed. Could you hear that in the background?
So it's funny. You should leave it in.
Oh, I can't take it out. I cannot take it out.
Completely leave
because it's on my side and I was the last one talking.
You need to completely leave it in and included with the "can you hear that?" and just cut it there because that's hilarious.
No, absolutely not.
All right.
We have an ad at the end of our episode that people need to